let's get going with the overview. So this is the rough agenda that I was planning. So firstly, shortly, what is ProdLib? So just a short description of what we do, how to access the ProdLib in the content in the web library, and how to use the actual application, and then how it works with different kind of software, plus then just a short showing some bits and pieces from different libraries that we have in the service. Additionally, short words about the Buildup and MyLib, the additional functionalities that we have in the ProdLib application. So just quite an overview. So what is ProdLib? So the whole point of the ProdLib would be that the designers could find easier content from different manufacturers, and at the same time for manufacturers that they can provide designers with up-to-date material in the format that is really hopefully useful for the designers. It's quite common, for example, that the manufacturer is launching a new product that can be very effective or can serve a need that there has been on the market, but it takes a long time for that it reaches the designers, the information of it. With the application, we hopefully we can speed up that communication, and in the process also help your work. But let's get going. So I'll start from the web library. I'll take the agenda here on the side so I can cheat from that one and see that what was I planning to do. So there's basically two or three ways. Well, yeah, two main ways of using the content in ProdLib. The first version is to use it through the web library. If you go to our web pages to prodlib.com, there's two categories or buttons there in the top. There's the WebLib and then there's the download ProdLib. The WebLib part is basically all the content, all the files from these manufacturers that is available just as a download-based function from the web. So if I want to find content from connection plates from Anstar, I can open that one and find the content and the details. So this is, for example, this anchor plate, and the attachments, the CAD files from this specific size can be seen here, and these can be downloaded. The download will require a login, so you need to be logged into the ProdLib, and if you don't have a login, you need to do the sign up. So that is mandatory. But apart from that one, it doesn't cost anything for the designers, so it's fully free of just use. All the content that is available here is freely available, but you need to do that login to be able to use it. So this is simple way. No need to download anything. No need to install anything. Just go and search by if you know the product group or library that you're looking for. If I know, for example, that I want to have a garbage bins from or bicycle shelters from Lehtovuori, I can just jump directly into the library, and I can see some basic information, dimensions, and then the attachments on the side. Or then just going with the search function, so I can search based on classifications. We have different classifications. So if I want to have, for example, windows, I can try to find what we have content for Windows. It loads them. Loads it a bit slower now while sharing this one, but there are products that are in the window categories, so can be searched with the classification or just with the brands or just with the name. So different searches. But everything is file-based downloads. You find the product you need, find the related data, and load it. And once you load it, it goes to the normal download folder, and from there it can be then either imported or copy-pasted to the actual projects and design. So that is the web library usage. This web library is actually also used through some manufacturer web pages as well. We have few examples, and there will be more that we are developing as we speak, several of those ones. But if I go, for example, to FinBin, the view that I showed a moment ago. So, for example, here, this is the manufacturer's own web page, and there's a part for designers, and here's the library. So this is using also the ProdLib web library that can be used through now this FinBin web page. So this is a simple way for also to access the data. Download and then add it there. But then the other approach that we actually like to recommend is to really use the application, the ProdLib application and ProdLib Manager. That brings some benefit for the usage. It's easier to manage the content that is actually up to date. We can also bring some additional functionalities to some of the content, especially in the Revit and some in AutoCAD side. It's also possible to browse content and technical data without going to the manufacturer specific pages. So the usage is a bit different. To use the ProdLib application, you basically need to download the application. There's two versions of it. There's a Windows version for it that we use with AutoCAD, Tekla, Revit, ArchiCAD, SketchUp, and so on. And then we have a Mac version that is basically meant for managing ArchiCAD libraries in Mac environment. So that's the main function from the Mac version of it. This application is a normal installable software, so you will need administrative rights to be able to install it. So that is required. So, but then again, once you have installed it once to manage all the libraries and the content, that doesn't need any admin rights, so you can use it then freely. But for the first installation, you will need your IT or to have the admin rights to use it, to be able to use it. I have it already installed, so I'm not going to go through the process. We have also in the support, we have installation instructions. And of course, if you have any problems with the installation, just send a mail to us. It's easiest info@prodlib.com, and we'll try to help you out if there's any problems with that one. But I'll show a bit that how does it actually work. So let me close this one, and this one, and this as well, and some other. I have some stuff here already open. So once you have installed the ProdLib application, ProdLib Manager application, you should get a desktop icon, same ProdLib Manager, and it will, if you open it up, this is more or less what you will get. Let me change actually the language here so that it's working better. So this is the basic view. When you open it for first time, this list here on the left, it will be basically empty. I have already loaded several libraries since I use them daily, and I show them daily to both users and the new manufacturers. So they are already available. But when first time opening it, this list will be empty, and you will have a button, just this add libraries option here. So add libraries will take you to the next page here that you can see all the manufacturers that are available in our libraries. Currently, there's a bit short of 100 libraries available, and there's more that we are working on all the time. So this is hopefully growing so that in a little by little, you could really find all kinds of products that you need in the design process. Are you an architect, or are you a structural engineer or a draftsman, and so on, but anything related to the building and or the surroundings of the building. So trying to get there. And when you find a library that you need, so let's say I will hide all the installed libraries that I have. So let's say, for example, here that I want to get access to Solarstone library. So I'll open it, and from here I can select just the download. So this one will load the content locally to the user's computer. So it will be available there. So again, find the next library what you want to have and download it to your computer. It will automatically then also come here to the list of libraries that you have available. Whatever library you have loaded, once it's available here, you can simply just, if I open it from here, so this is now the FinBin library that I loaded. I'll change the language of the user interface to English. And this is the contents. So this is a standalone separate browser that you can view the content and its options. And the attachments that I was showing in the web page, they are now visible here in the side. We can do selections. I can also see here that, for example, the preview image of this shelter is changing based on this selection here. So now it's 12 meters version. Now it's 4 meters version. So that would be dependent on the selection what we have. There's, well, yeah, I mean, there's quite a different kind of selection of libraries. Some are more targeted for architectural usage, some more structural engineering and detailing usage. So you need to go and find the content that you need from the libraries. Some of the libraries, you will notice that they are only available in English. Some have translation, some are only in Finnish. That's a bit dependent on the manufacturer and where they are operating. So that's why there are some limitations with the content. So not all the content is available with all languages. Okay, there's a question here. So so there's a you have loaded you have the application, but the update doesn't seem to be working there. I think it depends. I mean, it should work always, the software update, and it would actually should reinstall the new version on top of it. But maybe what you can do is try to do is that if you open, just load again the latest content. I mean, latest software version from not here, sorry, from the download ProdLib. If you load again the same package, don't uninstall the old one, but just reinstall this one on top of the old one. So then you don't lose any libraries there. So this could help for the, or should help at least to make sure that you get the latest version of the ProdLib application. But if it doesn't work for some reason, please send an email to me or to the info, and we can have a short Teams meeting or something to make sure that we can get it working. So we'll try to help it out. But yeah, I was here about to show different libraries. The content in different libraries looks. The admin rights are only needed when installing the full the application. So if I want to install these when I have the application already up and running, and then you want to install, for example, now this Bradberg library, that doesn't require any admin rights. It's only for installing the application. The libraries can be downloaded without any administrative rights. So hopefully it makes it. I mean, we release new versions of the application, well, on irregular basis. For example, we will release a new version of ProdLib, just if not today, at the end of the week, which brings some more functionalities. So every time, of course, when we have a new software release, then it does need the installation and it does need the administrative rights. So it's a bit similar if you have AutoCAD or you have Revit or ArchiCAD. Whenever there comes a new version of that one, it does need the installation, the admin rights. So the same with our application. But we try to limit the versions so that there's not huge number of them, and sometimes they are just minor updates to support latest versions of the AutoCAD or Revit or something. But every once in a while we have some new functionalities or fixes that we release. But these are basically how the libraries look and what you can find from there. From different screws and anchors to sofas and windows and stairs and stuff like that. So that's what you can find from there. And how to use it if we start with from the 2D CAD software and that we can support. I have plain AutoCAD what I'm using here, so I'll show you how to apply it. Let's start from here. If you, for example, from AutoCAD, there's two different versions. There's the AutoCAD LT that doesn't allow any add-on installations, so you cannot install there any extra features or so that's blocked by the Autodesk, and there's nothing we can do about that one. But still, we can use the content what we have. So if I here open now, for example, this Hilti library, I can browse the content. So I'm not in any way inside the AutoCAD, but I can try to find a product that I need. Okay, let's say that I want to have, for example, this anchor bolt, and I want to have this size, and I want to see it from the side view. So if I go here, I can see that it says open. So if I click now, it will open a default CAD viewer. So if it's AutoCAD, CAD's, BricsCAD, whatever it is you have set in the Windows as a default CAD software, it will open it there. Or I can drag and drop it. So I can just drag it to the open CAD software that I have. So the insertion point and the scaling, what it asks for X and Y direction. So try find what you need, have the product version, and drag it to the open drawing. The content you can find there's from different kind of blocks and individual components to, for example, if I check from, let's see, Peikko, they have lots of basic content of anchoring systems and stuff like that, but also there are some sample details. For example, here there are delta beam details, typical both the PDF version. So if I open this one, it will open it to the default PDF viewer, or if I have this one, I want to track it to my CAD. So here is now the CAD drawing of this one. So this is a normal, either DXF or DWG file that is being inserted here and can be used as any CAD file. So this is how it works. Then if you are using full version of AutoCAD, or the same applies, for example, for BricsCAD, and we have also in a CADS, or is it CADmatic nowadays? So CADmatic House, I think, is the application. And few other ones that we have a direct support. When installing the application, it also installs it. If it recognizes that if I have an AutoCAD version, it installs it here to the ribbon of AutoCAD. And now there's another tab. And all the libraries that I have loaded to myself are also visible here directly inside the CAD software. Additionally, in the latest versions, we also enable this kind of panel view that can be then docked to the, either taken to another screen or docked to the side, and I can use the libraries from there. So this makes it a bit easier maybe to use the normal ribbon commands what you have here, and then use the side panel, because it's just easier to manage the content a bit. Oh, one thing that I forgot about the manager itself. When you are loading the content, for example, in my case, I already have quite a pile of libraries that I have in my computer. It's possible to group them differently. Like if I close here, I have groups called favorites, balconies and glazing, kitchen and bathroom, furniture, screws and anchors, build-ups, and so on. And these are then the rest that are not categorized. These categories, every user can create as you want. So you can create your, well, whatever categories you want, and they are created on the settings tab. So here is libraries grouping. From here, these are the groups that I had. So these can be if I want to edit these ones, or I can just create new ones. or remove whatever I have here. So that's easy. So this is the way you can create the groups, and once you have created them, what you need to do is that if I want to go to a product or the library that is not in any group, let's say Sembrit here, I can see it here that the grouping, so it's not grouped, but I could put it as 2 favorites, for example. So now it basically the location is here on the top in my, so there is now the Sembrit library. And the same is now visible here in AutoCAD. So now it's here as well in the favorites, the Sembrit library. So just an easier way of arranging the content. But yeah, if I have it now, if I open the library from here inside AutoCAD, I want to have a bench that is, if we view it from the side, here's my bench from the side, and this is the view from the top. So this hopefully should be quite straightforward. I want to have a warrior bus shelter of 10 meters and add that one to here. So there it is. Find what you need, add it to the CAD file, and that's it. No, nothing sort of special in that one. Then if we jump to Revit part where the usage is very similar, I'll open one project. Well, I could open a new project so that you see that this is a default Autodesk template. I mean, if you're familiar with the Revit, you know that when using it in a project, if you want to have, let's say that you have an object, a door or a window or a sofa, you need to always load it to a project that is that you want, where you want to use it. But when you use the ProdLib application, we have the same installation. It also installs the libraries here in the ribbon, and they can also be used with this ProdLib panel, so that again can be managed with this ProdLib panel function. And the library is now here. Let's say that I want to have the same bicycle rack or a garbage bin, the same user interface. I selected, for example, here a bin, a module. I want to have module maxi as a black color, and here are the CAD attachments, but here's also the Revit insert. So I can just pick the Revit file and I want to add it definitely there. So it's pick and point where you want to add it. It's a normal native Revit object, what we do and share, so that can be easily found. There are also some additional functionalities, like in this one. Well, the cyclus actually is not public yet, but will be within a week. But here, for example, I can pick, I want to have this kind of shelter. How many of them? 4 of them side by side. And this is the roof type. So now what we, instead of having a very complicated Revit family, we have split it in parts, and we can add it there. So that was the space reservation, and now you can see how it's actually getting built on the background. So now this is the one with 4 shelters side by side. So some nice functionalities. There's some additional, I mean, balconies and railings. There's kitchen furniture, bathroom furniture, some generic also furniture, some screws and anchors. So quite a lot of different kind of content. These are different kind of wall and floor types, and I'll show it in a moment how it works. That's a bit of a sort of specialty. But let's jump here in between to ArchiCAD and see how it works. So I'll start the ArchiCAD in the background and show it how this works. I'm really poor to use ArchiCAD, so if I do something very stupid here, don't be surprised. But I'll just try to show how to use it. So this is a plain plain AutoCAD project, nothing loaded there, just a normal basic template. And the way this application works with the ProdLib application is that when you install the ProdLib manager, in AutoCAD, we don't have the same user interface as in Revit or in AutoCAD, because in AutoCAD, all the objects have their own object user interface. But we manage the libraries and we can keep them up to date. In the settings tab, user can define that where are all the AutoCAD content, where is it loaded? So this could be on your computer, on your company's server, or some other place that you have access to. So change this according what you want, where you want to load the content, and please keep the content there, because we are following also that if there's coming a new versions of the content, then we can, if this folder is correct, then we can compare it to the old one, and it will automatically notify you that, hey, there's a new version of the library there. But if the location of the content is moved, then we lose the track on that one. So try to keep it in a correct place. But in the libraries where there is some AutoCAD content, let me find some, for example, here, this Lehtovuori. So now I have it already loaded, but there would be separate button that would say that download AutoCAD content. And it would download it to that specified folder in the settings tab. And once it's downloaded, it's a normal library that can be then taken into use in AutoCAD. So if I go here, libraries and objects, library manager, and I said add, well, this is my default path that I had, so I can take this here, and now it's available in the project. And now if I want to use it, the content, I'll take some. So there's the Lehtovuori that I just loaded. I want to have definitely shelter. I will take Vario, and well, these are the basic, some selections for the bicycle rack, colors and so on, and then insert it there. If I'll check it out, so these are normal, again, native AutoCAD objects. So we do them to Revit natively, to AutoCAD natively, to Tekla, the same thing. So whatever we support, we do try to make sure that the content works as it should. But in AutoCAD, it's pretty straightforward. It's just about managing the library and downloading it. The rest is normal AutoCAD usage. Okay, but let me close then that one. I'll just have a quick look at my agenda. So that was, we checked a bit the standalone usage, AutoCAD, AutoCAD, and Revit. We also have a support for Tekla, but there's only very limited number of libraries. So far it's we have Ruukki's products that are there, so sandwich panels and cladding products and load bearing sheets and stuff like that. And we also had the Rockstack that has some transit objects there, but it's quite limited still. But we are extending that part as well. We have support also for SketchUp. There's a bit similar situation. Not too much content available for there, but it still can be used through the application of what we have. CAD and BricsCAD are also supported, so they can be, ProdLib can be installed also to those ones. Some of the basic libraries, the uses are already showed here, but then we have some added functionalities to some of these libraries that I could give a quick look how they work. This was already something a bit special in that sense, that to create this kind of object as a Revit family that does it everything of this one, it gets really heavy. The file size is very big. But what we have done here is that we actually split it to smaller segments that we can add them module by module and then just create a group out of this content. But we have some other functionalities as well that we can apply. I could actually take one project to show some of it. This is just one sample. It takes a moment to load, but bear with me a moment. always nicer to show with something real than just a plain. Still updating. Almost there. Okay. So this is a normal house in Revit with some plan views and sections and so on, and facade drawings and so on. So nothing nothing special in that sense. But here we have to show some of these extra functionalities. I'll go again to I'll take this panels here in the side. I could start with this Buildup function. This is something that also works in AutoCAD and in the standalone application. But one challenge with this kind of material manufacturers who don't have a specific component or product, for example, a window or door or a sofa or a bolt, but they are more about materials. For example, insulation manufacturers or facade cladding material manufacturers and so on. That it's quite difficult to distribute that content both for the CAD files and for the BIM files, so that it would be easily maintained and usable. But we've started to develop this kind of build-up functionality a couple of years ago, and there's now, for example, all these manufacturers are using that functionalities, and I'll show how it works. Let's use the Baroque, for example, and I'll use it in English. So this Baroque has some predefined wall, roof, and floor types already, and they can be viewed basically in this way. So this is a preview of the content. I can have a look at. Okay. There's some surface layer that is undefined, and there's a brick, there's ventilation layer, and so on. So I can try to find from here something that is close to the product that I want to add there. If I don't find the correct one, I can, let's say that I find the one, this is what I want to have. So I can take this one, I can select this, so I can see a bit more in details. There's actually defined each layer and the product, that what they are and their properties as far as we have them available. We can see, for example, this one, I can open a PDF view that is basically generated on the fly from that wall type. But we can also use this now in Revit. So if I do it, I can start this insert as a wall. So this is creating this wall type on the fly to Revit, and all the materials as well. So now if I just start normal Revit wall modeling, let's do it there and cancel it. So this Baroque SEWVF with this one has a, what is it? The Baroque Extra is the material. And now if I check on this one in Revit, the name is the same, so this is the Buildup SEWVF, and if I go deeper to see the actual materials, so these are the correct materials with also correct material properties. So we set those ones through the applications. So now you can find these wall, floor, roof material buildups and use them with correct material data in the projects. And if you don't find one that works for your need, what you can do is, if I open now this one, oh sorry, this is only finished, so I'll take some, I'll continue with the Baroque. So I had let's say that I have a floor. Okay, this is an intermediate floor. This is the structure. I could use this one, but actually, this is not quite right. I want to modify some of these layers. So I can take this for configuring. So this is my floor one. I configure this one. Okay, and so now this is the view as I had before pretty much, but I can now start modifying this as well. So for example, this concrete layer here, I can edit, and I said actually this concrete should be 60 millimeters thick. Okay, and it updated here automatically. This fixing plaster, I don't want it at all. I want to remove the fixing plaster from here. I'm not sure anymore if it's working the floor as it should. And this flooring layer, I could edit it or add new layers here as well. So I can add new layers if I want. But it's possible to modify these layers. And once I've modified it, I can save it and reuse it later in other projects. All these modifications are also reflected to this PDF view that is created based on those selections. So now I have here 60 millimeters instead of the 80 that was originally, and also one layer less. It's also creating a DXF file that is exactly the same replica of those PDF file. And now in Revit, I can just start the floor command and it will create me, oh, sorry, I need to modify my work plane. Brilliant. I should have done this before, but that's easy. I have a sloping roof plane. It doesn't allow me to do a floor there. So let's go there. And of course, I didn't save my floor, but I'll just then pick one of these. This one that is available, and I'll select the insert as a floor. And now I want to have a floor that is going from that goes. There it is. There's my floor. Again, all the layers and all the materials are created on the fly. So this is something, the buildup function. So that's something that please test it and give us also feedback how to push it forward, because that's something we want to take further. Some additional other libraries have some special functionalities. For example, Lumon doing glass railings, and I'll change this one to English. Here, let's say that I want to have a Lumon railing that is installed on top of the slab. So this is the slab edge. I want to select the handrail, color of the profile, cladding color. Do you want to have glazing or no glazing? Yeah, I could have a glazing from top of the balcony. And here are the heights of the handrail, of the overall height from the whole glazing. So this is what I want to do. And now if I just select the insert function, it will load some of the material, and I can pick here. Can I do a, come on, I want to, where is my 3D pick? Let me see. Well, this is not actually going quite correct because, yeah, should have changed a bit the setting, but in any case, I'm picking basically the slab edges and it's building the railing and the glazing based on the definition, what I did. So quite fast way of doing the quite complicated glazing object. And this is using Revit's own rail and curtain wall functionalities to enable this one. Some other nice functionalities we have in, for example, Technos is, unfortunately, this one. Oh, do we actually? I'm not sure. Do we have already the English version of this one? No, this is. Oh, there is. Yes. Ah, good. Good. So this is the English version. There's some color charts that I could just select and then pick a surface and paint those colors. But now, for example, in this case, we have also option of this kind of paint selector. So that will actually help you to select the correct paint type. So if I, like now I'm painting outdoors, I have, what is the surface type? I think I have, this is some cladding panel, aggregated, yeah, aggregate surfaces of facades. I think this goes fine. So these are the options, what I have available, and I want to have it with this color. And now select paint. It loads a moment again, the content here. And now I can pick this wall and that wall and say finish. So now they are Now they are based on the color selection. So I think it's worth exploring some of the libraries of what we have and what we have as usage. Last thing I want to show you is that about a MyLib functionality. So this is the option when I would say that when you have been working for a moment as a designer or a draftsman or whatever is the position, that you start building up your own files, your own libraries. You have maybe some CAD blocks or CAD details or Revit objects or whatever the files are. You can also use ProdLib library tool to manage that one and to use that content. So I have an example here. In the Tools tab, we have this tab called Tools. There's the option called MyLib. So there's an option to select a folder and then give a name for this library. And this folder is just picking up, so I could just pick it and just start selecting any of these folders and giving it a name. And it actually creates a library from that content. I have one created here, so I'll show you how it looks in the Windows. So it's, let me see, it's in temp folder, some sample. So not messing up all my computer. So this is C, temp, and there's the sample. So there's content, some AutoCAD content with some details and stuff, and Revit, some families here. Now this folder called sample can be found also from here. So it's in the list in the bottom, my libraries. I could have several of these ones. And if I open it, it actually creates this same structure hierarchy, and the files are here as what we have. So I can, for example, this one just open it to, and now again it opens it to the default PDF viewer, or it could be in Revit. I could use this as well and drag it to the. So let's see if I have a Revit open here, and where is my library? There. I think the hologram. Let's take this one. So I can basically drag it. Come on. Yeah, I can drag it now here to this project and start adding those products. And that's a family that I have created there. So now the family is available in this project. Same applies for the CAD files and the PDFs. So this can be just a simple way for you to have a visual way of having the hierarchy and adding the content to AutoCAD, to Revit, to SketchUp, to where you need to have it. So this could be a bit useful as well. So it's not just file sharing what we do. We try to also create some small tools or supportive functions that make your lives easier. So, and we are always welcoming new ideas and proposals. We cannot do everything, of course not, and sometimes the things take a long time, but we still try to take it forward all the time, and try to get also new content available so that it would be serving the purpose as well as possible. But I think that the agenda that I had here is more or less handled in a very quick way.